party coming live for fellow Comic-Con. Please watch the Brothers Void, or I'm coming down here with the rest of my rejects, and we're going to take care of you.
Hey guys, kind of off the cuff here. Josh and Daniel and Chris here, the Brothers Boyd. We're going to do a little musing, I like to call, about what's going on in the world of comics, Disney Plus, and the DCU. I think
Yes.
what DCU
DCU.
DCU is no
Yeah,
longer
the
DCU.
DCU.
We are now the
I don't
DCU.
think it ever was the DCEU. I think that's just something the fans gave it. But yeah, I think they seem to be settling on DCU.
Yeah, not only are we doing that in the comics, but they're doing it in the real world. Let's call it the real world with the movies and the animation and the TV show. So
Yeah.
we're super excited about that. So comic wise, this week, not really this week, but right now, what's going on with Marvel? We are almost done. I believe today, the sixth book in the Judgment Day came out. I have been reading that story. It's Avengers versus X-Men versus the Eternals. But really, it's more like Avengers and the X-Men versus the Eternals. And it's actually more like Avengers, the Eternals, a few Eternals, and all the X-Men against a few Eternals, because it's been kind of a grouping thing where some Eternals don't want to be destroying all the X-Men and some do. So yeah, that's finally coming to an end. If you guys probably want to wait until it comes out collected, the only problem is it crossed over so many books. You're probably going to need one of those $150 omnibuses to read the whole thing.
Yeah, they took a page out of, well, Marvel's always done that, but they took a page out of DC's Dark Knight's Metal book. That book had like 31 shots crossing over.
Yeah, but it wasn't just the one shots. It was a lot of crossing over into other books as well, ongoing series. And they're like, hey, we know how to get everybody's money. Let's make this story cover everything that's going on in the Marvel universe right now. So
I think they actually did an X-Men crossover about a year or two ago that was so big that the trade ended up being the size of an omnibus, and it's like $75 to $80 for it.
Wow.
So it wouldn't shock me to see something similar to that.
Well, we know that's going on. That just finished. Chris, I think you said the next thing, because you're following Marvel, is the Dark Web.
yeah, we're gonna get the Dark Web real soon. They're starting to build towards that in the Spider-Man books, and I don't know if I'll push you. I know Daniel said it wouldn't be hard to make him read a Mark Bagley drawn book. The new Spider-Man that's come out with Dan Slott writing just floored me at how good it was. I had quit reading Amazing. I kind of got bored with it, but with the Dan Slott run, I've really been happy so far with the first book. We still got some more to go, but it's definitely one that if you want to read some Spider-Man, it's a good place to pick up and start reading. That's for sure. So, also, I'm reading Predator right now too. That's still a great story right now. At the end of book 3 this week, I was reading it last night. She's on the planet by herself, trying to get off, and the computer in her ship goes and tells her, "Hey, we got to go because the predators are here." You see a bunch of ships dropping out of the sky. So the next book should be really interesting.
Well, now DC is got about 2 months left on the Dark Crisis. They're going to finish up with what they're calling the dawn of the DCU. I don't know that they thought that would be happening in comics and in the real world at the same time, but it's coming. So we've got the dawn of the DCU. And when that finishes, Chris, you're reading Batman versus Robin right now. That's going to finish up in December as well. And those two things are going to roll over into something called Lazarus Planet. And it's going to be a crossover that runs from January to February. It's going to be a book every week. Part of that, the one shots to lead to that. And that's going to lead into February, the start of the new Superman and probably a bunch of other books. I think we're getting a soft reboot in DC coming up.
Yeah, here's DC asking for our money. They like to do these once a week books. They kill us with that. But, you know, they're fun to read. You don't want to miss them. I think last year they did an Arkham Tower series in Detective Comics. 12 straight weeks of buying Detective Comics. It was like, how do we go from a book a month to a book a week? It was like crazy. Good story, but man, they're killing us with these once a week things.
I'm really excited for the changes in what I'm reading about the Superman books. They just sound fantastic. It seems like the new ownership at DC, at Warner Brothers, is really putting an emphasis on Superman as a character, just in general, in all forms of media.
Yeah.
And that I love that because I love that character. So
Well, and me being a Batman fan, I love Batman stuff, but I feel like we're oversaturated with Batman stuff right now, and we need to build up that Superman side because if we're going to do a decent DC universe with movies and things like that, we need to have a stronger presence from Superman. When you go to having like uh 15 to 18 titles on your comic shelf that are all Batman related to only 2 for Superman, it kind of gets crazy. I mean, and you think about how big it is. And Wonder Woman's not well represented either, so we need to get more Wonder Woman stories as well out there.
We're
oh,
starting
yeah.
to get a Wonder Woman family. We've got Diana. We also have Nubia, who they're doing some stuff with right now. They've introduced Yara Flor, the Brazilian Wonder Girl.
I love Yar Floor.
Yeah, great character, great new character they introduced. You still have Cassie Sandermark, who was a Wonder Girl. You have Donna Troy, who was a Wonder Girl, and all these characters are starting to resurface again. So it kind of feels like they're building the Wonder Woman, Superman, and they already had the Batman family.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna have some pretty interesting dynamics there. I feel like with all these things coming about.
Yeah, it's exciting to see where comics are going to be. Let's see where we are this time next year with the Superman family coming and stuff. It should be pretty fun.
And Chris, I'm going to throw this out here. I know we're about to talk about movies here down the road, but I've heard some little birdies tweeting around about the possibility of Ben Affleck coming back and doing some actual solo Batman movies to help prop up the new DC.
Oh,
So,
please. I love Ben. Ben is great. I think again, the same goes with him and Henry Cavill. If given the right script, we could have some really
Yeah.
great. And I would love to see Affleck directing a Batman movie because we know how great a director he is. So
yeah.
so speaking of like TV and movies, the state of Disney Plus right now is just ridiculous. I mean, we just came off of a She-Hulk run. Um, we've got dogs in
The
here.
pups are barking in the background.
Yeah,
y'all.
they're excited about Disney Plus as well.
I have a kitty cat at the door too. She seems to be excited about stuff too.
Well, Leia sits on the couch and watches whatever we're watching, so she gets upset when we don't turn the TV on at night.
So they knew both of the dogs are named Luke and Leia, so they knew we were going to be talking about Star Wars videos because we not only do we have Andor this morning, it dropped the Tales of the Jedi. I want to say there's 6 episodes of this. They're anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes long each. I actually had time to watch the first one this morning. It was Ahsoka based. We were actually on her home planet seeing her birth and like the first week or so of her life. Um, just amazing. The animation. I expect no less from Dave Filoni. I'm sure he pulled all of the guys over from the Clone Wars and said, "Hey, we're gonna do this, so let's make it look good." And just to see where we were a couple of years ago with Clone Wars and where we are now is just incredible. I know you guys are excited for that too.
Oh yeah, Chris, did we get a full run of that dropping at once, or are they doing it by the week?
Nope, it's all there. All 6 of them are there. You can watch them
wow.
when you get a chance.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
and it was kind of interesting that he dropped it on the same day as Andor coming out. So we got lots of stuff to watch now.
Yes.
Again, I'm gonna pace myself on those as much as I'd love to sit and watch them all at one time. I think it's kind of one of those like, if you get some candy at Christmas and you kind of take your time eating it, so you get to taste that flavor every once in a while again. So
Speaking of that, you know what dropped this week? Christmas tree cakes.
Christmas tree.
one a day until Christmas, until they put
Hey,
it on the shelf. I got my
look,
first.
my work is already playing Christmas music now, so it's on like neck bone right now. Apparently,
So yeah, so Josh is going on the Christmas tree cake diet. I'm on the carnivore diet.
Yeah.
So he's gonna go one way out. I'm still going one way in. So there's gonna be more of Josh on the channel and less of me.
I still do intermittent fasting, so I'm trying to
Yeah.
maintain it.
Yeah.
Well, Disney Plus has got Andor. We've got Tales from the Jedi. What's our next Marvel? Do we have something coming for Marvel
I think Ironheart is coming up before the end of the year, if I'm not mistaken.
before the end
I
of the
think it's
year?
coming up. I
Probably.
think so. I think it's coming in December. I'm thinking. I could be wrong. Somebody correct me here, but
Well, we
I
get
feel like it's coming after.
We're gonna get introduced to
Black Panther
Riri
drops.
when
Yeah.
Black Panther drops. So that's the end of November. So you could be right. We might get it in December. We'll just have to do a little fact checking and figure that out and
Yeah.
see where we are.
Yeah, well,
But
we definitely know that the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas holiday special is coming.
yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I almost forgot about that. That's coming in December, and
Yes.
guys,
Guys, November 25th
Kevin
is going to be on
Bacon.
Thanksgiving Day.
Kevin Bacon is going to be there. We get
Yes.
Kevin Bacon. That's the greatest thing. That commercial or the preview made me laugh so hard last night. It was so good, so good. But you know what else is coming to Disney Plus in 2023, guys? And I think Daniel has one right behind his head there, if I'm looking right.
Yes, he does.
The TARDIS will be landing on Disney Plus in 2023 with
As long as you're not in the United Kingdom, you can watch it on Disney Plus.
and let me go ahead and spoil it. Well, Daniel, you haven't seen it yet. I don't know if I can
I
spoil
haven't
it
seen
yet
it
or
yet,
not.
but I know what happens. I'm
We
excited.
did
to
get
see
a
what-
regenerated doctor last night in The Power of the Doctor, and it was not the new doctor that you would expect. We have gotten David Tennant back as the doctor.
Yes.
So fans should be rejoicing right now. My understanding is that he's around for a few specials, and then we're going to get the regeneration into the new Doctor. But who knows with Disney in charge of the House of Mouse having Doctor Who now? Who knows what we're going to get? So,
I know. Do y'all remember the 50th anniversary special when he met the curator towards
Yes.
the end, and it was Tom Baker?
I'm back.
Yeah.
Tom Baker hinted that he could go back and revisit old faces. So I'm thinking this is what's happened with this.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm.
And Daniel, the great thing about this special that was out last night is we saw a lot of old faces. We saw a lot of old doctors pop up last night.
I heard Colin Baker was up there. The Davidson was up there. Sylvester McCoy was up there, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sylvester McCoy was there. It was
Well, Sylvester McCoy.
Yeah, you've got to check it out. You'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it
because
was really
it's
good.
A really good. Started off kind of slow, but it picks right up, and probably the best. The best one I've seen for the past 3 years with Jodie. Unfortunately for Jodie, she's a great actress. She was given I'm going to say it because I'm a Doctor Who fan. A terrible showrunner, and was given some of the worst scripts ever. There may have been a handful and a small handful of episodes where she shined, but overall, just like probably any Doctor Who's least favorite Doctor Who stuff.
I'm really behind on the show. I have barely watched any of it. I like her. I like her energy. I liked her interaction with her companions. But when I heard about the timeless child thing, I did not like that at all. I just thought that was a terrible idea. But
Well, I think Russell T. Davies.
I want to watch it just to kind of form my own opinion, just in general, because I hate being that kind of person. It's like I'm not watching that. But
here's the thing, though. Some of the companions were good, but some of them you just could not get a connection with.
Yeah.
They just didn't work. So I would say, yeah, definitely watch it because it is a Doctor Who thing. So that's where we stand with Disney Plus. Now let's go to the big.
I do want to add one more thing to Disney Plus because we have lost all of our fantasy for a few weeks, but we are getting the Willow series, I think, on the 21st.
Yes,
in
absolutely.
November. Yes.
Yeah, I'm ready for Willow.
Yeah, I've almost forgot about that. I'm glad you said something. I'm like, wait a minute, because everything's in it. House of Dragons in it. We've
Lord of
lost
the Rings
Lord of the
series.
Rings, but we're gonna get Willow, so I'm
Yes.
excited about that. So the big guys, we are all wrestling fans, right?
Yep.
We all grew up. Do you remember the Monday Night Wars? Yeah, of course you
Yep.
remember the Monday Night Wars. So does it feel like to you guys that Marvel and DC are getting ready to restart the Monday Night Wars, but in the Marvel and DC universe?
Oh yeah,
It seems like
Uh,
one will throw a punch and the other one throwing a punch back.
yeah. It started with Black Adam, Chris. When Black Adam dropped and Cavell showed up, then they announced that they're making Man of Steel 2. Kevin Feige said, "Hold my baseball cap. Here's the Ant-Man and Quantum Mania trailer." Then they came back and they threw out the Guardians of the Galaxy volume or not volume 3, but the holiday special trailer. And DC said, "Oh yeah, well, hold my cape, because you know the guy that did that, James Gunn, he's running our universe now.
he works for us now.
Yeah, he works for us now.
Yeah, you got him for this, but
Yeah,
and maybe Guardians 3, but
Yeah.
yeah, he works for us now.
I feel like it's a lot more friendly fire than anything, but it is fun to watch.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Friendly Fire, and I love what it's gonna do. Right now, it's gonna make Marvel better, and it's gonna make DC better.
Yes.
Because Marvel has had no competition for several years. Because I mean, be honest, there was nothing to compete with like Infinity War and Endgame. Um, Black Adam seems to be the first good movie that DC has put out, other than like Shazam, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman in the past few years. And so you're starting to get that punch counterpunch thing that you need to say, okay, well, we did this, so we're going to do this a little bit better, and we're going to do that a little bit better. And Marvel has been doing good, but I think, instead of resting on their laurels now, that they can go ahead and be like, okay, well, we got to do better than this. And come on, guys, if we can get a decent script writer, to write the new Superman movie, imagine how good that's going to be.
It's going to be great. And Chris, that's the beginning of my phase 1 DCU. Superman, first movie.
Yeah.
You guys ready? Real quick,
I-
lightning round. You get a Superman movie. You get a Batman and Robin movie. That helps you lead into the Titans later on. Then you get World's Finest teaming up Batman and Superman. Then you jump over, you get a Wonder Woman film. Then you do the Trinity. You do a film called Trinity with all three together. You introduce the Flash. You introduce Green Lantern. You do a buddy cop film with Flash and Green Lantern because they're buddies in the comics. Then you introduce Aquaman. Same actors, okay? Except for Ezra Miller. You get rid of him, you get a new Flash. Then you bring in the Justice League as the closer, the cap on phase 1. They find Martian Manhunter, who has been kidnapped by the government. He comes out to warn them about something that's coming. Brainiac comes down, and the Justice League has to fight Brainiac. That's your phase 1.
Yeah, and that's really good. I think like something you will see though too, in addition to that, you might see some smaller budget DC films because like James Gunn loves the most weird and quirky characters. He put Polka Dot Man in a Suicide Squad
Yes,
movie, so
exactly.
he definitely does want to do that. And I think he's going to try to mine some of those like lesser known characters that he loves and put them out in movies in smaller budgets and stuff. And I think that's something I think DC is really gonna you're gonna see them really excel at, because remember we're getting a big slam bang Ant-Man movie right now, but the first Ant-Man movie had probably the smallest budget of any Marvel film.
Yes.
Right.
And it did so well because it was so small and it was so just small and very self-contained. It wasn't too big or too grandiose.
Dang,
Yeah.
speaking of small characters, I want Batman and Robin fighting Condiment King. Put him on the big screen. Give me Condiment King.
No.
That might.
No, James Gunn will give us Batmite, dude. We're gonna get Batmite. But here's the thing, Daniel. When you're talking about the low budget and stuff, like doing the low budget films, I think you have a platform with HBO Max, like Marvel has with Disney Plus. I think you do special presentations like Marvel did with Werewolf by Night. I think that's how you introduce a lot of your characters, because we know we know a lot of these younger, smaller characters are not going to carry a full budget movie. So you do a special presentation, you get them out there. So
I would love to see a very modest Breaking Bad budgeted, but that show was at a very modest budget, but it was a huge deal. But something like For the Question or something like that, where it's very street level, but it does have a little bit of DC mysticism to it. Just be a great thing.
right, right. But I think the one thing we can all agree on is now with James Gunn in, which we know from Guardians of the Galaxy, they have went and grabbed Peter Safran to be his he's going to be the co-CEO, the co-chairman and stuff like that. I think, you know, eh, because of his track record with the Conjuring universe, he knows how to build a movie universe. So he's going to do a good job with that and build. But I think we can all agree, let's go use the source material.
Yes.
Let's stop going way out in left field and let's use the source. We've got 75 plus years of source material we can draw from. So,
And here's the thing with Safran. Safran and James Gunn have a 22-year long working relationship. They've been like making movies together since Gunn's independent days. So they've known each other for a long time. So they have a really good working relationship. So I think that's going to be a really good thing for DC as well.
Dang it, were they working together back in the Trauma Picture days?
Not the Trauma pictures, right after Trauma, but
Right
he
after
was
Trauma.
doing little independence movies called like The Specials, I think, where he wrote and helped produce it, and they were working together on that.
All right, final thought for me. Here it goes. James Gunn, fired from Marvel, got picked up by DC. Marvel brought him back. Feige didn't want him fired. That's why he came back, right? Feige and Gunn are friends. What if we get Avengers, Justice League, and they do a team up? What if
I'd
Feige
like to
came
see
Gunn?
it, but there's too many lawyers involved. Despite how many creatives want to do it, it's a problem. It's a problem to get them together in the comics these days. So I don't see how they would ever work it out with the red tape for a movie at this point. Sadly.
final thoughts from me. James Gunn now runs DC Universe. How many different places is his brother, who played Kirk on Gilmore Girls, gonna show up in the DC universe?
Well, he's already been weaseled.
Yeah, yeah.
And my final thoughts, I love this. James Gunn's he's done a little bit of everything in Hollywood. He's written movies, he's directed, he's produced. He has an eye for talent. People don't stop and think about that because they think, oh, this is just a guy that makes silly superhero movies. But yeah, he's done a lot. He produces a lot of movies, so he knows what he's doing. And having that guy with him to help out, I think on the business end, so he can be a little bit more creative, is the perfect combo. Reminds me a lot of how Pixar is run, and that's not a bad formula to follow.
And James Gunn is in charge, so the detachable kid will be back.
It's just a great time to be a comic book fan right now because the DC universe is getting ready to explode, and we're going to get some really good movies that we can get excited about on the DC side of things. That's all we got for this video, guys. But Josh and I will be in. Where are we going to be? Wilmington.
No, Wilmington.
We're going to be in Wilmington next weekend, November 5th, for the Wilmington Toy, Comic, and Hobby Show. Actually, if you hit that subscribe button, ring that bell notification, you will see that we have an upcoming interview with Sean Morse, who is the head of the Wilmington show. You can find out who's going to be there, what kind of stuff's going to be there. Bring lots of fun stuff. Bring lots of cash. We got a lot of stuff for sale. A lot of collectibles, a lot of comics you want to go home with. And we will also be in Havelock on November the 19th. We have the Havelock Comic Con. It will be from, don't know the times, not worried about it. We'll put the flyer up. But we will be there. We will have a table, and I think I heard 57 vendors last I heard. And look, Luke wants to be part of this video. So he's come in. And so that's all we have. And until the next video, we will see you at the shop.
All right, guys. Have a good night.